Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie, and this week's video I wanted to share from a layman, if you will, the difference between ABA and the SONRISE program. It's just something that I've been getting a lot of different topics coming up on my news feed and different things. And I think one can be demonized, the other one can be demonized as well. And the first thing that I want to say is I am not an expert on either of these two methods of helping our kids and adults on the autism spectrum. No way am I an expert. And at the same time, I want to say if your choice was ABA or SONRISE program, there is no judgment. There should be no judgment for you making the best choice for your family. And if you get that judgment, I hope you're able to just brush it off because you know what's best, you know what works best for your family, and it's really important to have a certain amount of confidence, not blindly, but at the same time, a certain amount of confidence because people can be, I think in the world nowadays, it is a perfect example of this, that the world can be very judgmental when they don't necessarily have all of the facts, and nobody knows your family like you do. So I'm just going to go quickly into what both of those methods are. So ABA is the standard by which most people in the medical system and the school system in particular have chosen to approach autism and some of the struggles our kids have. And it came out of the 70s and 80s when autism was just becoming recognized as a thing, and the medical system kind of threw the kitchen sink and everything else at it to try and figure out what worked best. And while you can have really awesome ABA therapists, there are some not so good ones. And so that's has been my experience and an experience of my friend. I've chosen to do SONRISE program with my son. A friend of mine who's a doctor, she has chosen ABA with her kids. And both of us have found that when we've hit is the wrong word, when that we've come across ABA people, on occasion it can go horribly wrong and really bad. And even in the case of my doctor friend, she has been in tears over some of the things that were done or suggested or for her little boy. And so it's one of those things. I have never had an ABA therapist, but we have come across it in the medical system and in the school system. And again, we just found that process, those particular therapists that we were dealing with, actually caused a lot of harm to our son. And I had really, in my naivety, I really respected, and I still do to a large extent, people who have gone to school and have done a lot of research and stuff like that. But I think in my personal experience with my son that it isn't very child-led, and it isn't something that we felt was actually making any progress. It was actually hindering him, and he was developing an anxiety disorder on top of his autism. So for me, that was a really hard thing, because I came up to it and then went, okay, what do I do now? So that's the main aspect. I know that there are people, and I want to make sure that I say this, I know that there are people who have have had great experiences. Even my doctor friend has had some great experiences with some of her therapists. So I am in no way, shape or form painting the entirety of ABA in a negative light. In my experience, it was negative, and so it's just something that I wanted to put out there in the universe on YouTube, so that you may have the choice and the decision. If you want somebody who's really positive about it, look up Fathering Autism. They use ABA, and they have a wonderful therapist who does lots of wonderful things with their daughter. And so if you're interested in ABA and a more positive experience of it, then I would suggest their channel. Now, the SONRISE program. What makes the SONRISE program different from ABA? The SONRISE program is different from ABA because it is very child-led. It was created by two parents in the 70s and 80s going through this experience with their son, and just finding what was available was not something they were willing to put their son through. And so they worked really hard with him, just letting him know that it was entirely okay for him to be where he was. There was complete and total acceptance, and they had no guarantees that anything that they were doing was going to work, but they wanted to convey to their son, who was in his own little world, that he was loved and accepted for how he was. And so from that basis, they developed this program called the SONRISE program. And I've been really happy with the SONRISE program for the fact that they, unlike my experiences with ABA, that my input into my son's life, my knowledge about my son, all of these things were actually a benefit, and not I was blinded by love and I don't know what I'm talking about. They instead said, okay, we're going to give you some tools, some ways of looking at things, and you know your child better than we do. You're more motivated to help your child than we are. And so we really want you to have the tools available to help your child, to express love to your child, and also for you to hope for your child, which was something the medical system did not give us at all. And so it was one of those great things where it turned our entire attitude on its head, essentially. Instead of doom and gloom and everything was going to be bad and our son's future was dire. Now, we don't know what his future is going to be, but that hope and that focus of we will, have him try to do this, and if he isn't doing it yet, that doesn't mean he never will. It meant that our family dynamic and how we responded to him was completely different. And so that's something else about the SONRISE program. But they do have a developmental model to teach you as a parent what steps to take in order to help them come into our world. And the first part of that is entering his world. And so that is one of the a big difference, where ABA is change the behavior. This behavior is not acceptable in our world. Let's change it. Let's flip it. Let's fix it so that they're more acceptable in society, or they're able to navigate the society better. The SONRISE program goes, let's go into their world first, love and accept them, and then we'll take them over to the bridge on our side, because they're going to see the benefits of interacting with people, where this one is, don't do what you want to do what I want you to do. This is, hey, let us establish a relationship and a trust so that you'll want to come and hang out with me. So in a nutshell, in 10 minutes, that is essentially the difference between ABA and the SONRISE program. And sadly, the Sunrise program was something that I had to find through a friend, and it's not widely shared with many people, and it actually is demonized by by the medical system and the school system often. And so again, I'm hoping that this will give you, if you're watching this, a little bit of a boost to be able to say, I know what's right for my child, and it's okay if you don't like that I'm doing that for my child. That's your choice, your prerogative. You can do that, but I know that this is right for our family and for our child, and just give you that little bit of, yeah, it's okay if you don't appreciate how someone has done this, that, or the other thing, and you want to change it. You have that right and that ability to go, you know what, we're going to change. And if you do love your ABA therapist, I'm so happy for you. I am. I'm really happy for you, because you know what's best for your child and what works best for your family. So I hope this video has been helpful. I will leave a couple of links down. I'll leave Fathering Autism channel down in the comments as well. They're fairly big in the autism world, but they truly love their daughter and they use ABA. So I, again, want to make sure that you are not hearing but Sunrise is up. I just want you to have a clear understanding of the differences. And so, oh, the other thing, I don't know if I said, but the Sunrise program is parent-led. You are not bringing in lots of therapists and stuff like that, where ABA is a lot of bring in therapies and other people. So I just wanted to make sure that I said that. So I hope that this has been helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I would love to answer anything I share about the Sunrise program, because I really, really hope and pray that this becomes something that's more mainstream, so that people will hear that there is hope and it's not, especially because autism is becoming such a thing or each year more and more kids are diagnosed. And so I really want there to be at least one voice on YouTube and other places, several voices who have done the Sunrise program and share it with others who are just starting this journey. So like I said, if you are needing to have questions answered, feel free. There's a couple of videos down below. I give a full review on the Sunrise program, and I just want to share it for all of you if you need it. So yeah, I'm praying for all of you families that are just starting this journey or in the middle of it or going through a hard time. Yeah, I know it's not an easy road, but it doesn't have to be a road filled with negativity. So thank you so much. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.